Hi, welcome back to the farm. My name's Roz, also known as Passion Flower, and you'll find me here each week talking about my farming and creative life. Just before I start, I just want to make sure you can see my whole t-shirt. It says keep calm and cast on, and then it just says Passion Flower at the bottom. My uncle made this t-shirt especially for me. He did the die cut and printed it. Okay, so now into the episode. This week has felt really quick. I'm kind of looked back over the week and it was kind of hard to figure out what I'd done. It's just flown by. It only felt like the weekend, like yesterday. I don't know what's happened. This week has just been really kind of crazy. So my only real farm news happened last Sunday. I was coming home from Creswick, which I'll talk about in a bit, and I got text messages and phone calls to say that my sheep had pushed the fence in and that had stopped the electric fence from working. So everything was fine when I left on Friday. I came in, I checked on them, said hello, gave them hay, everything was fine. And then over the weekend, they must have had a really great time because they had pushed the mesh, like livestock fence, it has like the squares, so hard that it had gone sort of bowed into the horse paddock and was hitting the electric fence inside the horse paddock. So it was probably about, I don't know, half a meter or so that they'd actually like bowed the fence out. Great. So it's like, Roz, come home and help with the fence. I'm like, yeah, I'm on my way. Need to move the sheep and all this kind of stuff. So that's great. Easy. Move the sheep into the shed garden area. But I hadn't fixed the fence properly in there yet because I wasn't expecting that they were going to go back in there. So I had to kind of straighten that bit up. But I did kind of figure if they were in there straight away just for a little bit, they would just be focused on the grass and wouldn't be trying to climb to get to the plants, which is what the issue is with the part of the fence that I needed to fix. So I kind of straightened it out a little bit, popped them in there, closed it off so they couldn't get back into the main paddock, and started to work on the fence. So straightened out the mesh, so got it off the electric wire. But the problem was that the actual fence wires were so loose that it was able to allow them to push that far. Yeah, there was just like no integrity in the actual fence wires themselves to hold the mesh up anymore. So first, what we needed to do was tighten the whole length of the fence, and because it was down the bottom, and it had been clipped all the way along with the mesh, we kind of had to pull it through to get it up to where the connection was so we could tighten it off. So once it was tight, it would actually hold the mesh up, and then I was able to re-clip and at the top and the bottom, kind of bending the wire back and forth to try and get it somehow back to how it was before. And yeah, I think that has fixed it. They haven't done it again this week so far, but they are still in the shed garden area as well. So they have plenty of grass and different things to keep them occupied at the moment. It'll be interesting to see what happens when I just put them back in just their paddock. Obviously, I'm feeding them hay, but they always want what is on the other side of the fence. So once that fence was fixed, I then got a couple of extra star pickets, and I've tensioned the sections where they were pushing up and over a little tighter with extra star pickets in between. So there's not much distance between each of them and the mesh. And hopefully that is working. I did see Vito trying to climb up a little bit the other day, but it is much tighter. So I think that it should hold. I also clipped the wires to the post top and bottom so that there's less way that they can lift it up or hopefully push it down. So we'll see how that goes. They're a challenge. They like to keep me entertained and busy. So that's just the latest with the sheep. As I said, it doesn't feel like it's been a full week. I don't really have anything else that's been going on. I have been spending a lot of time here in the shed working on my business, dyeing and things like that. So that's mainly I guess what my time has been spent on this week. So my reason for going to Creswick was because there was a Tea Time Yarn Retreat market on the Saturday. So I attended that and then just enjoyed a little bit of quiet time up at Creswick as well. The weather was beautiful. It was cold and foggy on the Saturday morning, but then the sun came out and it was really beautiful. And then driving home on the Sunday was really lovely as well until I got those texts and phone calls, and then I felt like I needed to rush home. The market was great again, always a lovely group of people. So we had the market in the morning, and then I stayed for a little while after that and helped a couple of the ladies with some issues they were having with their projects, which was really nice to sort of be able to help out and chat and see what they were working on. And then this weekend, I've got brioche and sock classes at Unwind on the Saturday. So yeah, I'm keeping myself busy being out and about. This week I launched on my website the mohair silk yarn that I've been talking to you about. I have decided to call it Wispy because it is light and fluffy like a wispy cloud. So I have it here in 4 colours that are currently on the website. I've got wildflowers, aqua, lilac, and olive. So I'm really happy with how these have come out, how the colour shows and how the silk is beautifully shiny and catches the light. I will be working on some more of these solid colours. I'm only going to do selected colours, I think, of this. I'm not going to do my full range. I'm just going to choose some beautiful, like tonal, semi-solid colours that will hopefully go with the rest of my yarns. It is a 72% kid mohair, 28% mulberry silk, and it is a lace weight yarn, and it is 50 grams and there's 420 meters. I've also been dyeing yarn this week. I've done batches of some of my flower colorways. I'd very much depleted all of the flower colors, and now that we're midwinter moving into spring and the markets that I'll be attending will be in the springtime, I am stocking up on all of those flower colors in preparation for those. So they're currently all drying here in the shed, but I have some that I can show you. They're still partly wet, but I have Dusty Rose, Nasturtium, I'm all tangled up, Fuchsia, and Forget-Me-Not. So I am sort of doing batches of 4 colors at a time so that I can manage doing quantity and getting it dyed consistently and getting it dried. So I'll be hopefully able to label this over the weekend, and then I will move on to another 4 colors for next week. In line with feeling like this week has just flown by, I don't feel like I actually have a lot of knitting progress either. So I've done a little bit on my confetti party opal socks. So just a bit more on the leg of this one. That's the second sock. I've got a long way to go before I am finished. And the other thing that I've been still working on this week is my comfy jumper. And I think this is what's sort of bogging me down. It does take me quite a while to get through rows on this. But I have made quite a bit of progress. So I'm into the body now. I've split for the sleeves. There it is there. So I'm into the body, just knitting around and around. I've got way less stitches on the needles, but because it is that 1x1 ribbing, 1 row with a slipped stitch and then 1 row with a knit stitch, it just takes a little bit of time. And I guess I have been not doing a lot of sitting and knitting. And when I have been, I've probably been looking at the internet, doing other things as well, and not focusing 100% on the knitting. But as you can see, this is the teal knot green and the wildflowers in the wispy lace yarn, and it's just coming out really beautifully. Well, that's it for another week. Thanks for spending some time with me. If you're enjoying these videos, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and look forward to seeing you next week on the farm. Bye.